The Hocus Pocus 2 Mug Club movie review. All right,
Listen.
What?
I need to get something off my chest.
Okay, well, depends. Which bathhouse have you just...
Not that. I blame you.
Is it raining clogs?
For being pissed off last night when I get a text message that says, "Hey, watch Hocus Pocus 2 for tomorrow."
Well, because you weren't in the meeting, you were gone.
I don't care about the timing. I care about the content.
I had to subscribe to Disney Plus, and it's like, do you want all the adult shows? I was like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a Disney Plus after dark.
Yes.
Oh wow, jeez.
It's Disney Max.
Yeah.
Disney.
Chip and Dale's Rescue.
The only the only reason I even have Disney is because when I watch UFC, it's ESPN. And it's part of the package. It's the only thing I really subscribe to is the ESPN Plus, and I hate it. I don't subscribe to Netflix anymore.
Yeah,
I steal it.
Yeah, but there's Darkwing Duck. There's some stuff my kid watches. So I don't.
Suck ass, evil doer.
It's such a good show.
Darkwing Duck. All right. So before we get to anything else, mugs up or mugs down? Just on Hocus Pocus 2. I think we're all in agreement here.
Just break the mug.
Yes.
mugs down.
It is a. What are you saying there?
Throw it at the screen.
Oh yeah, throw it at the screen. No, we don't have a 3D camera, so it would just be a waste of budget.
I'll give it a mugs down.
Yeah. I will give it. I don't use the word offensive very often.
I know
this was offensive to watch, and not because of anything that was off color. Though that too, it was offensive. Like the aggressive. Yes, I wouldn't even say aggressive mediocrity.
No, it's just bad.
It is so on. It is a festering pile of dog shit. It is terrible. There is no redeeming value to this film whatsoever. I know some of you are thinking none, no redeeming qualities whatsoever. And the other thing, so here's the thing, it's a bad film. Okay, remove all the politics, remove all the social agenda. It's a bad film. The first one wasn't good.
Well, it's for kids. No. I mean, I get it.
There are good movies for children, though. Yeah. Hocus Pocus was not amongst them.
I've never seen it, though. People seem to like it. I've seen bits and pieces, obviously, but
I don't think a lot of people liked it. It took them 29 years to get around to part 2.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And there were some people that had mentioned, I've been waiting for this forever. Why? Why are you waiting
Jessica
for part 2?
Parker doesn't look too horrible.
She looked terrible. Wiccans. She looked like death becomes her.
I understand that she has a horse face.
Yes.
But I mean,
we all know that.
It's at least when it came to the nose, they were like, well, you don't need to add nothing.
Yeah, it's like when they brought it. That's why Clint Howard is in so many horror films.
Yeah.
It's just you sit him in the prosthetics chair, and toss a little powder. You're good.
Yeah. There you go. You saved us $50K.
Right.
Makeup ready.
So it's a horrible film. But
you up.
It was like they were also trying to, and the reason too, there was no real story to it. That was because it seemed like it was just a woke checklist, and they were just drawing lines to try and connect. Okay, let's make sure that we check all these boxes. And let me kind of just give you some examples here. So, checking the woke checklist with Disney is okay. You need a domesticated gay couple. All right, right off the bat, boom, check. Okay.
It just seems strange because it was so. I don't honestly, in my opinion, I don't really care if that's in there. It just was so forced.
Yes.
That it just didn't make sense. If you want to have it in there, if there's a reason.
Yeah.
But you just jammed it in there.
And it was the only
pun
couple.
Intended.
It was the only couple.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was a montage of them. I think it was they were flying on their brooms past houses.
Yes.
So it would be like, oh, you see this house. And you see, a white people house and a black people. It's just like they're flying past houses. And then you just see the interior of one house. And it's two gay guys eating popcorn.
Interracial black couple eating popcorn.
Gay.
Yes. Gay interracial black couple.
But there were no other couples.
No. That was it was just so forced where you're like this. I understand if there were 3 couples and that was one of them.
Yes.
But it was just the one couple so forced.
So that one, then there's the other one. There's a transgender cameo that happens right early on. Again, they just checked it, and it was the secretary for the principal. I think you can bring up the list. Boom, ding. Okay. And I just watched it. I remember it was the secretary going, "The principal's ready to see you."
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, and I was like, "Wait, was that That was the only line. Mm-hmm. That was the only line."
I can't tell.
So we just need to make the secretary. We need to make the secretary transgender because we also want to be transgender sexist. Because a male and female would be a secretary.
Yeah, that used to be the principal.
Yes. Shop teacher. Then you have the drag queen number. Okay, boom, check that. This is different from transgender. It's just a bunch of drag queens, and they show just have to fit it in there.
That was strange because it wasn't. sorry, I know you
No.
But it wasn't like even a drag queen thing. But
No.
then it was. It was like a
Oh, for
talent
sure,
show,
yeah.
and then became.
There were two groups that were drag queens, and then one group that appeared to maybe be women, and then Bette Midler and the
Yeah.
other two.
Yeah,
like-
it just sort of didn't make any sense.
No.
It was just
Yeah.
there.
They just wedged it in.
You
Yeah.
just showed the group of women who were dressing up as these witches and that it could be done. You didn't need to make drag queens out of this.
You basically said, "Hey, the Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and the lady who acted like she had a stroke the whole movie,
Right.
Yes.
look like drag queens."
Yes.
That's all.
pretty much.
That's all it did.
Yeah. The lady with the little Nicky face.
Yes. What? Well, I understand that was her original character, but now that she's older and thinner, it just looked like she fell off her broom and was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
"Hey guys."
Yeah, that lap band just ruined her career.
It really wasn't, but it was eerie.
Yeah.
She's like, "I'm going to make jokes," and you're like, "Oh, I feel sad."
Like, I'm the silly one.
yeah.
Popeye's chicken is freaking awesome.
I think they cut clips to accompany these.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Do we
yeah,
have
yeah,
them?
yeah.
If you
Son
want
of
me
a-
to play them, I could. But
We need to let the
Okay.
audience know.
We let the audience know. So you have drag queens. Well, here we'll check the list. And of course, the only reference to they have to fit in a derogatory patriarchy
Oh, of
reference.
course, yeah.
Which, by the way, it is patriarchy. Yeah, you work for Disney. It is patriarchy that feeds you, that clothes you, and buys your fake rubber teeth. So we have a clip for this.
derogatory picture. Yes, I got
Okay, there's a clip where they just mention this, and it doesn't need. It's again, it just feels like they tried to fit it in at the expense of a story. Here,
What can I get for my favorite customer?
Just this.
What? That's it? But it's your birthday. You can't just come in here for one crystal like it's any old Tuesday.
It's my friend
No.
Sam.
Legend has it. It's on the 16th birthday that a witch gets her powers.
And like most legends, I'm assuming that's based in some sort of patriarchal fear of female aging.
Yeah, probably that too.
just say thank you.
It's simple.
Look, I can understand if he's sexually harassing or something. Like, don't do that. It's your birthday. Treat yourself. Because of patriarchy. Sure.
Yeah, you're also talking about being a witch and having magical powers. Why did you make this a serious conversation?
Yeah.
It's like, you're in
have
a
to-
magic shop, lady. Come on.
Yeah, why is being mean a virtue?
Yeah. And by the way, I love that. Just there's so much in that little line that just shows you how little they know. Oh, because of some patriarchy fear of female aging. Yeah. No, you're going to find out when you're 35 and your window's closing that it was the patriarchal fear of your biological clock. Yeah, it was a societal construct. Just say thank you. He's giving you an extra gift on the house for your birthday.
Well, and it started out this way, right? If you remember the start of the movie, it was in Old Salem when they had the witch trials and everything,
Yes.
and the Puritan pastor.
And I was hoping
coming
there
to
was
the
a
house.
fire and it ended
I know,
there.
I know, right? It's the pastor comes to the house and is like, you have to forcibly marry this person. That was part of the patriarchy thing too. It's like, oh, see, they're forcing women to marry, and that's what created the witches in the first place.
Listen, they were all
was
of
the whole-
12.
Yeah, exactly. It was the origin story, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. I can see where this is going to go.
All right. And of course, when we're going through the list, they always have to, not that there's a problem with this, but it has to be, strong, independent, anti-patriarchal black female lead. Okay, fine. Then her sort of generically, ethnically diverse sidekick. I don't know. She could be Asian. She could be Latino. I have no idea. The point is, you put on an Abercrombie poster. Now, you have, here's the thing. Every single male character is weak.
Yes.
Every single one is weak. Okay. Now, that being said, every single white male character is an idiot, is an absolute moron.
Yeah.
There is not one single male or white guy who is anything other than a stooge.
Yeah.
Which, look, whatever. Fine. Okay. So that's the movie. The point. You guys know where it's. But the point. I mean, am I gonna? I don't. What do you have to say? I just don't even. I don't even have the chip to process this at this
Well,
point.
I mean, it's
like
not
there's not one guy who's competent.
Right.
There's not one guy who's competent. Like every single shop you go to is run by a black woman / witch.
Well, I mean, yeah, just watch Ernest Scared Stupid. He's
same story.
He's the dumb one, you know. But
right.
yeah.
Story.
Yeah.
But everybody else is.
It's a mix.
Yeah. It's a good mix.
Well, it's just lazy writing too. I mean, the story basically is that these witches existed. They got defeated back in whenever the first movie was made. This guy saw it happen, so he made this really weird-looking black candle, tricked these girls into doing it, brought them back, and then basically said, "Oh, but at the end, my favorite part. You did miss this. Favorite part at the end is when the witches started disappearing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That was a bit of a silver lining.
It was allegorical for their careers.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And then the witch has a change of heart because she loves her sisters so much. she gives up her witching powers, and then the girls become witches. And I'm like, oh,
Which I also hate, by the way, because they were trying to eat children. It's like, I don't care if you like your sister. You're trying to kill other people.
Yes.
You should be burned.
Yep.
at the stake. And these
they
girls
say,
are like,
they
I
don't
want
like
that.
us because we eat kids, and you're like, no, I get that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want you in my town either.
That
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And I also realized I hate child actors. They're too hammy, and I don't enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, it was Anthony Hopkins said, give a child acting lessons, you ruin him.
Yeah.
Or her, or Z. The point is, what works with kids is just them being kids.
Yeah,
When
you
they're
just allow them to be kids. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you ever been on set with them? They take it so serious. Like, well, what's my motivation here? It's a sequel to Hocus Pocus, and no one cares.
Yes, just be a kid and say stupid stuff.
You're dressed like a witch. Just repeat what we told you to say.
By the way, the fat one's flying on Roombas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
FYI.
Oh yeah, that was awful.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I thought it was a good gag
Did you? Yeah.
because I didn't expect her to fly in Roombas.
Well, I mean, if you want to compare it to the rest of the humor in the movie, yes, it was good.
It was the best part. Yes.
I tell you what, it's the violation of expectations. I was expecting her to be an old wooden broomstick. Instead, I saw some Roombas, and I said, "That's one for you, Hocus Pocus, too."
You got me. My Roombas do weird things
I
too.
wish they ran out of batteries and then her other side of her face stroked out.
Oh. Jeez. Getting brutal in here.
It's just, well,
What happens when you make us watch crappy
dude,
movies?
I know the guy in it, and I totally understand why he did it because he, it's money. I'm sure he got a great big paycheck. But I was watching it, and I was like, I can tell you hate this.
Yeah, it is really, really tough to watch. I mean, I was this. There's Mugs up, okay, Mugs down. What do you rate it? And this is, I actually believe that this film, if you watch it, is child abuse.
Yeah.
The white zombie that comes up is
yeah.
just an idiot.
Straight up idiot.
Did he have an English accent in the first one?
I didn't. Like I said, I've only seen
didn't see
bits
it.
and
No,
pieces.
he was in the first one.
Yeah, he was.
And apparently they bury people a quarter-inch underground.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, they're lazy. It's all the women digging the holes, so. I'm kidding.
Like, isn't there a spell for that? Can you make it deeper?
Yeah, it's hard to figure out who the bad guy is, and it just doesn't make sense.
No, there's nothing. It didn't make sense. It really. Look, we talked about how Maverick. Look, is it a fantastic film? No, but it was sort of a
enjoyed
good. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. I enjoyed it. But in other words, I'm not going to say it shouldn't. It doesn't deserve like the Oscar for Best Picture, but it's a good blueprint for how to do a sequel that incorporates components of the original that people like, right? Because you have to acknowledge, right? You have to dance with the one you brought, and then also isn't just a rehash. I think it was a good model going forward. This was a perfect example of a cash grab and trying to appease the writers' room and the Disney executives and HR, and so you end up with a film that has no story, is just going from woke checklist item to checklist item. And then what was the song they were singing? Like, they were all modern. So I hate that with Disney.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah, one way or another. No, but
That was the worst
was
thing
really bad.
ever.
And it went on for like 8 minutes.
and what was the first
Oh,
song, though, when they come
God.
out from the grave they were singing?
No, but that was the worst when she looks at the bassist and goes like, "Oh,
See if you can keep up with me.
Oh
I'm
no,
sorry, Dave. I'd run.
Is that what she says? See what you can keep up with me?
I
See if you
blocked
can
it
keep up
out.
with me.
yeah.
One way or another." I was angry.
And she's really into it. She's like, I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you. Like, oh, there, you're putting your little spin on it.
Yeah.
the
Bet.
douche chills that shot up my spine.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch that scene in the fetal position.
I know.
As you were trying to electrocute yourself. in the
Seriously, I
bathtub.
rocked back and forth in the shower after watching that.
Joe Lewis stuck his head in the oven.
Put me in.
My kids
just
got
trying
up
to
and went
reach-
to bed.
I don't have opposable thumbs. Do a guy a favor.
He just brings you a knife.
Do it.
And a tarp.
Oh, that was the worst.
Just drops a
it was
bar
the
of chocolate
whole
and coffee
song.
beans on my lap.
Yeah. He's like, I already dug the hole out back
Open
for
it.
you.
I got some cherry tomatoes. You know what I'm thinking?
Look, if you want to have a musical, do a musical. You don't just get to have a piece of one and ruin. Oh,
That's what they do with Disney. It's like, okay, I'm watching this, like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Oh, I like to move it. Click off. I can't do
Done.
it.
no.
It's like, this one's for the parents. No, it's not.
No, it's really not.
It's really not. It's for nobody.
Yeah, this felt like the Ghostbusters that was before the most recent one, not the Afterlife one, but the one right before that. It was just like super hokey, like super,
yeah, I liked Afterlife.
super terrible. Afterlife.
Oh, you
was, I
mean
thought,
the
good.
all-female?
Yes,
He
yes,
didn't
yes.
want to
The launching pad for Leslie Jones.
with Leslie Jones? Yeah, exactly. The one who is absolutely terrible in everything she's in.
Yeah, I went into that
Including
honestly
life.
with an open mind, and I was like, "This is possibly the worst movie.
10
I've
minutes
ever
in,
seen.
my mind was closed.
Well, it's very clear that these people they have disdain for the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
They have disdain, like, well, that's because it's a bunch of white. First off, there was a black guy who was a lead in that film.
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
Don't remember him?
Yeah, and it's like, look, it's just these were the people who were interested. Guess what? You know who the majority of people will be who are interested in ghosts and hunting them. When we were young, it was men. For the same reason that young boys are Ninja Turtles. Try and do that in a focus group with 6-year-old girls. So they grow up, men are like, this is the kind of thing that they're interested in. And again, it obviously was successful enough that women liked it. They wanted to recreate it with an all-female cast. The problem is a lot of content that is female-centric, where we're talking about, like Sex and the City. Sex and the City only appeals to women. There are some things that only appeal to men, obviously, like some of the really silly action films, which frankly I'm not all that into. But something that is like a comedy that appeals to men, generally speaking, women also like. It just doesn't go both ways. And unfortunately, rather than saying, hey, let's try and create something that goes both ways, Bridesmaids was an example. That was one of the very few examples where people liked
movie,
it.
Yeah,
But it's
same guy that did Ghostbusters, which is so strange.
Right.
Yeah.
But then they get sucked into the man-hating club. Yeah. So, all right, we all hated Hocus Pocus 2. If you watch this with your family, you'd be better off just telling them you're leaving for a pack of cigarettes and never go back because you're a horrible father. This has been Mug Club Movie Review.
There's no way we could make it, but I just thought of the parody of Auto Hocus Focus. Bob Crane, the sex addict from Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I'm still thinking about the what's her name, the lady from Thinner. What was the name? The witch?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the gypsy?
The gypsy.
Oh, yeah, the
gypsy.
bitch.
I still was thinking about that yesterday. I had to go look up a picture.
Yeah.
It was a perfect call. All right.
Thank you.
Let's grab a couple of chats. We're running a little late. We got to go.
All right. Bane from Golden Corral has a question. If you could make anything a rom-com that was better than Bros, what would it be?
Well, if you can make anything